Look up at the night sky tonight. For centuries, humanity looked up and just saw a quiet, unchanging canopy of stars, right? It looked like a perfectly peaceful cosmos, basically a still painting. But as we're going to explore in this explainer today, that peacefulness is nothing more than a deeply convincing illusion, and it's hiding a violently dynamic reality.
Okay, let's dive into this. As our technology has evolved and our telescopes have grown sharper, that illusion of a tranquil sky has been completely shattered. We've discovered a universe that is teeming with absolute cataclysms. We are talking about supernovas that literally tear entire star systems apart, galaxy collisions that warp millions of worlds, and invisible predators lurking out there in the pitch-black dark.
But out of all those cosmic terrors we've managed to uncover, there is one object so immense, so incomprehensibly powerful, that it completely stretches the limits of human imagination. It's an environment where gravity literally bends reality, and where time grinds to a complete halt. It's been described, perfectly I might add, as an infinite darkness wrapped in a maelstrom of primordial fire. This is TON 618. It is the absolute ultimate monster of the cosmos, dwarfing anything else we have ever found.
The story of how we actually found this cosmic leviathan is a fascinating lesson in just how deceptive the universe can be. Back in 1957, astronomers working at a quiet observatory down in Mexico cataloged a tiny, entirely unremarkable speck of blue light on their delicate glass photographic plates. They recorded it simply as entry number 618. For years, everybody thought it was just a faint, harmless little star sitting quietly inside our own Milky Way. But decades later, in the 1970s, astronomers pointed new radio telescopes at that faint speck, and wow, they revealed it was blasting out intense radio waves, completely shattering the idea that it was just a normal star.
By analyzing the fingerprint of its light, researchers realized it wasn't even in our galaxy at all. It was speeding away from us, sitting at a completely incomprehensible distance of 10.37 billion light-years away. I want you to think about that for a second. The light hitting those glass plates in 1957 had been traveling for over 10.37 billion years. It began its journey when the universe was in its absolute infancy, less than a quarter of its current age, right when the very first generations of stars were just starting to light up the dark.
Now you might be wondering, at that extreme distance, a normal star, or even a massive galaxy, would be completely invisible to us. So how on earth could we see TON 618 so clearly? Well, because it's a quasar. We're not looking at a normal galaxy. We are looking at a central supermassive black hole actively devouring colossal amounts of matter. As whole star systems are dragged in, the friction inside its accretion disk accelerates matter to near light speed. It's like a cosmic blender generating blinding energy across the entire electromagnetic spectrum.
What's really interesting here is this specific number. Its absolute visual magnitude sits at a staggering minus 30.7. In astronomy, that is an absolutely unimaginable figure. To translate that into something we can somewhat grasp, it means this single object shines with the unfathomable intensity of more than 140 trillion suns. Yeah, trillion with a T. The accretion disk creates a glow so blindingly bright that it completely outshines the entire host galaxy surrounding it.
Let's play out a terrifying hypothetical scenario to really understand the sheer power we're talking about. What if we could magically transport TON 618 and place it right at the center of our own Milky Way, replacing our current central black hole, Sagittarius A star? The results would be instantly catastrophic. Even from 26,000 light-years away, its blinding light would outshine every single star in our galaxy combined. It would appear in our sky 23 times brighter than a full moon, completely erasing the night sky and instantly sterilizing Earth with a bombardment of deadly radiation.
But remember, the blazing light of the quasar is just a byproduct. The true colossus is the engine hidden underneath it all. Our galaxy's heavyweight black hole, Sagittarius A star, has a mass of about 4 million suns. It's huge by our everyday standards, but compared to TON 618, Sagittarius A star is a mere grain of sand. TON 618 has an incomprehensible mass of 66 billion suns. It is literally over 16,000 times heavier than the black hole at the center of our galaxy.
This brilliantly illustrates a massive problem for theoretical physics. According to astrophysicists, there's supposed to be an upper limit to how large a black hole can grow through typical feeding. It's a threshold known as the Eddington limit, sitting at roughly 50 billion solar masses. Beyond that, the radiation should just blow away the surrounding gas and starve the black hole. Yet TON 618 sits at 66 billion solar masses,
casually breaking the theoretical limits of astrophysics. Because it logically shouldn't exist, it literally forced scientists to adopt an entirely new classification, the ultramassive black hole. The physical footprint of this ultramassive monster is just as incomprehensible as its weight. The event horizon, the sphere of absolute darkness where not even light can escape, is roughly 400 billion kilometers across. To put that into perspective, the entire distance from our Sun all the way out to Pluto is about 5.9 billion kilometers. You could take our entire solar system, drop it into TON 618's event horizon, and it would just vanish. In fact, it would leave room for dozens of other solar systems to fit right alongside it. It's an abyss of unprecedented scale.
Let's move on and see how this builds if we took a hypothetical first-person spaceship journey straight into this monster. As you approach, you'd first encounter this massive maelstrom of magnetic fields coiling around the black hole. These fields act like massive cannons, launching colossal relativistic jets of plasma outward at nearly the speed of light. These jets stretch for millions of light years, carrying enough energy to shape the entire host galaxy just by blowing away gas and halting star formation.
As you navigate past those deadly jets and that burning accretion disk, extreme gravitational warping takes over. Thanks to time dilation, seconds for you, hovering near that glowing halo, would literally stretch into years, decades, or even millennia for the wider universe. To any observer watching you from a safe distance, you would appear to slow down, eventually freezing in place entirely. You'd become a ghost, trapped forever at the edge of eternity, just slowly fading from view.
But from your perspective, looking out, the colors of the universe would shift unnaturally. The intense gravity is so overwhelmingly strong, it causes the light trying to escape the area to be gravitationally redshifted. The very wavelengths of the light are physically stretched out. What was once bright, vibrant starlight turns into a deep, dark crimson. It is a deeply terrifying visual to imagine, isn't it? Looking out and seeing the black hole quite literally bleeding the color from the universe itself.
And if you were to actually cross that final threshold, the absolute darkness of the event horizon, there is zero return. Further beyond lies only collapse. You would be drawn inexorably toward the singularity. You'd be crushed entirely out of existence, in a place where our current fundamental understanding of physics just breaks down completely.
The sheer existence of this singularity brings us to a massive paradox, one that literally keeps astronomers awake at night. How on earth did a black hole grow to 66 billion solar masses so early in cosmic history? Remember, supermassive black holes usually take billions of years to slowly consume matter and merge with other black holes. But we're seeing TON 618 as it was when the universe was incredibly young. To get this huge, its early cosmic feeding conditions must have been violently extreme, terribly dense, and far beyond anything we ever believed possible. It forces us to entirely rewrite the textbooks on galaxy evolution.
But as violent as its past was in the early universe, its distant future is incredibly, incredibly lonely. Let's zoom way out, trillions upon trillions of years from now, long after the very last stars in the universe have exhausted their fuel and burned out. The cosmos will enter what's called the degenerate era. It will become a freezing cold, dark place populated only by dead stars, rogue planets, and black holes.
So, the crucial point here is that even this seemingly immortal king of the cosmos will eventually fall. Through a process called Hawking radiation, it will slowly leak mass over time. Black holes do evaporate. For an ultramassive black hole like TON 618, this evaporation will take an unimaginably long time, a timescale measured in a googol of years. That's a 1 followed by 100 zeros. But eventually, for sure, this 66 billion solar mass titan will evaporate into a faint mist of subatomic particles, ending its terrifying reign in a final, quiet flash of energy.
But until that far-off day comes, TON 618 remains our greatest cosmic enigma, and honestly, a vital tool for science. Quasars like this are not just monsters. They are literal time machines and windows into our past. Because its ancient, blazing light acts as a cosmic lighthouse traveling across billions of years, astronomers can analyze it to measure the chemistry of the early universe. By studying the light passing through the cold gas of intergalactic space, they can trace the distribution of dark matter and see exactly how the very first galaxies grew in those critical early days right after the Big Bang.
So it is both a destroyer of worlds and a guide to the ancient structures of our universe. Which leaves us with one absolutely terrifying thought to wrap up this explainer. We are looking at TON 618 across a dark ocean of 10 billion years. We are seeing it as it was. If this is just a window into the ancient past, what unimaginable giants, What crushing terrors are lurking in the universe right now? Keep looking up and stay curious.